When you work with leadership data long enough, you start to notice patterns, some obvious, some hiding in plain sight. Personal learner is one of those traits that doesn't always get the spotlight, but in the data, it's quietly doing something remarkable. Welcome back to Data Wizardry. Today we're taking a closer look at personal learner, the dimension secretly boosting every other creative trait in the profile. I'm Joseph Leman, and I invite you to come along as we put the data in layman's terms. When we examine the intercorrelations among the creative competencies, personal learner stands out as having a statistically significant positive association with nearly every other creative dimension. In fact, on average, elevating personal learner by just a single standard deviation corresponds with a 35.7% increase in other creative traits in the profile. From a systems perspective, we might call this a high leverage node, an input with outsized systemic knock-on effects. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, personal learner is basically the glue guy of leadership circle profile. It's not flashy, it's not out there posterizing on other dimensions like Michael Jordan on a weak defender, but without it, the whole system just doesn't click. In the data, personal learner shows up like this super happy little trait that just wants to be everyone's friend. It has more high correlations with other creative competencies than any other trait. Like, almost too many. It's involved in everything, everywhere, all at once. To me, it's a lot like intellectual humility. When you are aware of your limitations and open to learning, you suddenly unlock a bunch of other strengths. You're more present, adaptive, more grounded in reality. And that openness seems to ripple across the rest of who you are as a leader. When analyzing mean scores by gender across the personal learner dimension, we found a statistically significant difference. Women on average scored in the 54th percentile, while men scored in the 44th percentile. Now, given personal learner's strong correlations with overall leadership effectiveness, this variance may be one explanatory factor in why women consistently rate as more effective leaders in our data. So here's yet another way women have a bit of an edge as leaders. People usually point to relational strengths like empathy or connection as the reason women score higher in leadership effectiveness, and that is a big part of the story. But personal learner isn't a strictly relating trait, it's about openness, growth, self-awareness, and a kind of grounded willingness to learn. So the fact that women are scoring higher here too, that just adds another layer to the picture. It suggests that women may be bringing not just strong relational presence, but capacity for a deeper kind of learning that multiplies their strengths across the board. When we look at the distribution curve for personal learner scores, we noticed a more pronounced leptokurtic pattern compared to many other creative competencies. And this means the data clusters more tightly around the average, the middle, with fewer lower scores, but also fewer high scores. Given the high correlation between personal learner and the rest of the creative dimensions, this concentration in the middle suggests a significant opportunity. Most leaders have room to grow, and growth here could create meaningful impacts throughout their overall leadership profile. Yeah, so this one's kind of wild. If you picture the graph of personal learner, it's more squished than you might expect. So most people are scoring somewhere in the middle, not low, but not knocking it out of the park either, which means that there's a lot of untapped potential at the top. And here's the kicker, because personal learner is so tightly linked to every other creative trait, improving here isn't just about getting better in this one area. You see, it sets off a kind of domino effect. Make progress here, and a bunch of other strengths start falling into place as well. So yeah, there's room to grow, and a pretty compelling reason to do so. Personal learner might not be the loudest or the most popular dimension in the LCP, but it's showing up everywhere, influencing everything and opening the door to real growth. If you boost it, you'll boost everything it's connected to. Not bad for the glue guy, huh? I'm Joseph Leman, and join me next time as we put the data around Foster's team play into layman's terms.